New showtime. It's always an exciting day for us. So first off, I know this happens sometimes when I make new overlays and new things in OBS. If you cannot hear us, type something in chat. Yes, if you can't hear us, you probably didn't hear that instruction. All right, so let's talk about this. We're going to be playing some Rebel Crown. Just as a background, this was a zine, right? Like this was part of Zine Quest. Everybody, is that right? Okay, so yes, this was part of Zine Quest. It's a Forged in the Dark game. It's the premise is that one of us, in this case Lauren, will be playing the claimant, and we are going to try and take the throne. There is a house on the throne currently that Lauren is a part of, and we are looking to usurp it. So we are usurpers, even though
You're looking
technically we
to
have.
reclaim it.
Oh, there we go. Reclaim it. Yes, we're
Legitimately,
reclaimants.
it belongs to us. Of course.
So before we get going any further, let me just say, as since we are still in the apocalypse, apparently, all proceeds from this channel until the foreseeable future are going to be going to BLM and the Trans Legal Defense Fund. We split anything that we get, whether it's subscriptions or cheers or whatever, and we send it out whenever Twitch pays us out. So be aware of that, and if you are interested, there will be messages in chat, I'm sure, that will happen, where if you wish to make donations of your own, you can. All right, with that out of the way, time for some intros. Hi, my name is Strash. You can find me on Twitter at StrashA. I use he, him pronouns, and tonight I will be playing the Vengeant. I am playing Arter, who is a bastard child of House Lalaire, which is the Eagles, which is the house we don't like. And I am hopefully going to be a badass. We'll see how that goes. Luke, how about you?
Hello, I am Luke. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on Twitter at Wildwoods Games, where I talk about game design and stuff. Today, I will be playing Brother Oren, who is a priest, and will hopefully give some good advice. We'll see how it goes. Lauren, who will you be playing?
Hey, yes, I'm Lauren. I use she, they pronouns. I am at the Strictly on Twitter, and tonight I am playing Kale Lothair, who uses she, her pronouns. She is the claimant for our game. So she was of a noble house, and I think we agreed during character setup that her house was also this game has ghosts in it, because we all know how much I love ghosts. So like phantoms and spirits and ghouls are a thing that plague this setting. I feel like it's similar to Blades in the sense that it's like people die, ghouls like pop up and like menace the general population of living folks. So her house was accused of being like spirit worshippers and being like the evil scum who really care about chaos and ghosts and cult worship, I guess, or we'll figure it out and play. And so was subsequently cut off from the family and had all the lands that were raised by, I guess, folks who wanted to see justice done to these evil spirit worshippers. And I like to think Kale lived because, and Luke, if you want this to be your character, that's totally fine. If we want it to be like another non-named NPC, that's totally fine. But like how in Romeo and Juliet, where I think it was like Juliet was given that potion that was like, this will make you look dead, and you know, like that whole thing happens, and they both die. But in this case, I like to think that a potion to make a Kale appear dead was used and successfully resulted in her awakening amidst like this chaos and fire of like her family like having just all been slaughtered. But she survived, and that's my ramble about about the claimants so far for their rough backstory of what we figured out from character creation. Judd, I'll pass on to you before I
Yeah,
keep
awesome.
rambling.
Yeah. So if is Kale a young woman?
Yeah, I think she's considerably a bit younger. From memory, Brother Oren is like a little bit older, or like sort of.
In my head, Brother Oren is like at least late 40s, like
Yeah,
maybe even older. Like
Yeah.
of age to be he could be your father.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was picturing too. So like
Cool.
sort of
Yeah.
Kale being sort of like maybe mid or young 20s or so, or
Cool,
like sort of
cool.
maybe late. Yeah, like young and impressionable enough and still dumb enough to like make a lot of really bad choices out of a lot of conviction.
And we want to keep it that the fiend, the who is falsely on the throne after having your family killed, is your uncle,
Yes,
Maddox.
Manic.
Got it. Awesome.
Damn him to hell.
Hades.
And yeah, and you've been kind of across the channel for a few years with these seditionists who are you're with, and
Such an
you,
ugly word, Judd.
yeah, it is. It is an ugly word.
These loyalists, please.
Loyalists. Yes, of course. Sorry. Anyway, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Judd. He, him. I will be your crown reclaiming coordinator this evening. I don't know what is it called, GM, whatever. I like crown reclaiming coordinator. I'm sticking with that. I will be your RCC, and yeah, I love it. I'm very excited and nervous. It's this like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what's about to happen of a first game. So it's really cool. But yeah, I just wanted to flesh that out. I think you all, the three of you survived this slaughter of a house and made your way across the channel where the dukes were feuding. So Strash's character could find work as a mercenary captain.
Sure.
And
technically, I had a cavalry. It's one of the
nice
background choices I just
nice.
picked from the list.
Awesome. And yeah, I think you've made your way, back across, and you're in the Sedgelands, which is a province in the kingdom, and is there? I think you're in a small town called Bell Heather, which is at a busy crossroads, and I think it's a matter of kind of figuring out in and out of game what the first sortie is going to be, and what do we want to do? Do you want to? I mean, prominent targets in this area are there is a group of bandits called Drostan's Bandits, led by a former knight who turned bandit and calls himself the prince, I believe. And then there is House Gier, a lesser wing of House Gier, who married to the false King Maddox Lothair. So it's a cousin by marriage, and that's a area ripe for the picking. And then there's also a House Zagain, which is a recently elevated house, and I think an interesting link to this is that Lady Zagain was a mercenary captain. So that's kind of a link. Like maybe Strash's character and Lady Zagain clashed a little bit, or have a kind of healthy respect for one another, or knew each other once, or whatever. So that's what's kind of on the table. I can get more aggressive with my scene framing as needed, but I just kind of wanted to throw the toys on the table and see what interested folks. What's standing out? What are you thinking?
Here's a pitch.
Yeah, love it.
The three of us on our own cannot reclaim the kingdom.
Right.
Like just the three of us. It's not doable. And it feels to me like allying ourselves with some bandits and promising them some legitimacy when everything shakes out might be a good way to get some first troops in. Like, the local house is literally a bunch of mercenaries who turned legit. It would not be very hard to be like, hello, Mr. Droston, we would like to offer you exactly the same deal, but when we win.
Right.
Yes.
So kind of a diplomatic sortie, if you will.
Well, let's have a quick chat here.
Yeah.
Drustin is an ex-knight, is that correct?
Yes.
What house?
That's a great fucking question.
Oh, it's
Sorry, Jed. I have to ask the mean questions.
no, it's
Yeah,
I
no,
think
it's good.
How's your prep, Mr. GM?
You know what? I think he was House Lolaire.
Oh, sweet. So he and I would have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with this.
And also they're allies with the Fnac witches. So like we also have an angle in there where it's like, oh hey, we're also like, you know, like witch touched or whatever. And I'm totally on board with like bringing them along as far as we need to, and then backstabbing them if we also need to. If it ends up being a route we take. But I think like an easy in is to talk to some bandits with mercenary connections who are also amenable to like witches, for sure.
That sounds awesome. Let's look at, let's make an engagement roll. I mean, let's do it. Approaches and details.
Let's just fucking go.
Let's just fucking do it.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
You know?
Where's the rules for this?
Yeah. So
okay, here we go. Before the
do we want to
sortie.
do any? I guess we can figure this out and then do some gather information if we needed to, or
yeah.
I was just gonna say.
Yep.
Sounds like it's recon time.
Yep, it's recon time. Gather information is useful for determining which sortie the retinue wants to pursue. They could scope out several holdings and then decide on who they want to target and how. It's also useful for choosing the approach for the sortie: assault, uprising, deception, diplomatic, infiltration, siege. The only information that the retinue needs for a sortie is to identify a detail for their approach. So do you each want to like do a little information gathering about a different area? Do you want to? Cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to like.
Lauren, what interests you to have the claimant look into, or yeah?
It's a very good question.
You can totally say like, let me marinate, come back to me, and I will go to someone else and let you marinate. Legit.
I'm really tempted to pull upon like a contact, but I don't know if that's too early. So if someone else is like an avenue that they would like,
no, pull on that contact. Let's do it. Use everything on your character sheet. Do it. What contact?
I think it makes sense for this to be my positive relationship with a tavern owner called Fergus. It makes total sense to come to the Edgelands, like because we have like an amenable contact in Fergus, who is a tavern owner. I'm assuming he knows like the lay of the politics here and how everyone's like feeling about each other and stuff. Being a tavern owner.
Cool. Yeah, Fergus totally owns a tavern in Bellheather, and shall we name this tavern?
Oh, that's oh my gosh, what could it be? Like I feel like.
Do we want to call it like the snake,
like
the snake and eagle?
Crow? Oh, the snake and eagle. Oh, that's even.
I mean, if we're looking at the sigils, of the local houses, like the knife and hair.
Oh, that's really good too. The knife and hair is good. Yeah.
Let's go with knife and hair.
I love it. Yeah. Fergus is the knife and hair.
Cool. Fergus is seeing to a rabbit that's roasting over a fire when you walk into the kitchen. I think you kind of walk in through the back just to avoid the game starting like in the front room of a tavern, and not that there's anything wrong with that. That'd be cool too. It will be an homage, but I like the idea of it also starting in like a very common place, back in the kitchen, and he's like seeing to a rabbit on a spit, and he looks up and smiles and says and kind of like gets down on one knee and says, "Your Majesty."
Aw. If it's okay, I think like that's that moment where we get like stand up, you old fuck, like Kale goes to like pull him into a hug instead. He's not having any of this like kneeling for other people thing.
He gives you a big hug and says, "You always found your way into the kitchen. What brings you to the Sedgelands?"
Well, aside from a hungry belly.
Yeah, he cuts off a piece of rabbit for you.
Oh, nice. And I'll take it and like it's a bit hot, I imagine. Like initially, so like I have to I toss it between my hands and we'll pick at it once it's cool enough. But I think
Yeah.
I say, but aside from that, you know what? I feel like Vegas and I have a good enough relationship where I'd be like, I have a hungry stomach and a hungry heart for some revolution.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What they'd done to you wasn't right.
Well, yeah,
What's-
and I hear the same is happening to you folks in the Sagelands.
Where are you looking to start?
See, I've had to take some time away, so I'm not particularly familiar with the nuance and details of the political situation here in the Sagelands.
Yeah.
But I do know enough to know that what's his name, Droston's bandits have some ends with the Finnick witches, and it's you and I both know what kind of reputation I hold here. Would that be a
Cool.
good hit?
Yeah, let's. So you want him to tell you about Jostin's bandits, yeah?
Yeah, and I'll sway him.
I would like to just bring something up that I think is super important to know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was typing in a piece of my character sheet and I just realized I happen to know Drostin, a bandit. It's a good friend of mine.
Ooh.
Just so for reference here in a few minutes. Please carry on.
Got it.
Good decision we made.
So I think everyone's like, we need all of these plannings and information gathering when we show up. I'm just like, hugs. Go on.
Well, yeah,
I just put two and two together. My bad. Go on.
But it's totally cool to still want to know a little bit more about
please.
bandits. Yeah.
There's a difference between being a friend with someone and knowing how to mobilize them such that they're willing to put their people and stuff at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got an angle for this. I think I'll sway Fergus and be like, it's one thing to know Drostin, and hear about him from his perspective, but what I really want to know is like what the Finnick witches make of him.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That is awesome. Let's do it. Make that roll.
Sweet.
Because I've totally read about the Finnick witches. I'm not just reading about it now. I did my homework.
It's okay.
And how dare you for saying that, quite frankly? How dare you?
I will take your time because I need to. I'm trying to pull up
go ahead.
my moves and okay. So I can. Okay, so I took tactician, so I can assist twice without paying stress. So I think I'll push. No, you can't really lose out on a gather information roll, can you?
You can just get poor information. That's the worst that can happen.
So I'll take a gamble on my 2D for sway. And I'll just roll 2d6 in there.
Oh, and you get an extra D because a friend helped you, right? A friend is there to help you.
That is only true during downtimes, but I feel like we are in a theoretical downtime right now, so maybe that's applicable.
Recon is specifically a different thing than downtime.
Okay.
I will trust Luke on this because Luke has read more of these rules than I. Carry on.
Sounds
No
good.
problem.
Let's
2d6.
do it.
That's all I need. I got a 4.
Awesome. He says they're over in the Salt Crags, which is a neighboring province, and they're stirring up trouble. They're trying to stir up anti-royalist feelings among the miners of Salt Crag, and hit the false king where it hurts in the pocket, and they want Drostin to come over and settle in with them, but he wants he's got his eye on something here. Like he's looking at a target, and they want him to, they think they can bring the crown to their knees through the Salt Crag, and Drostin isn't interested in that. He just wants to get something for himself.
I think Kale nods as she hears this and says, so what I'm hearing is the witches are perhaps amenable to overthrowing the powers that be in the Sedglins.
Oh yeah, no, they
They're looking
are.
for a different system.
They're definitely looking for.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think the words "witch queen" would cause them to be upset. No, Your Majesty.
Right.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Let's. I think we know where Strash's character is going. Where is Brother Orin going? We might know.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this, Judd. I've
Yeah,
been thinking about this. Because I think Brother Oren, as much as like he was like he suggested this idea of like like let's recruit some let's recruit some muscle, like this would be a good idea. I think he's not convinced it's going to be as easy as necessarily appealing to patriotic sentiment, um, or indeed as easy as just like promising them future money.
yeah,
uh, and I think his instinct is like, where you have bandits in a province ruled by nobles, there is probably tension.
yeah,
And indeed, I think the proof of that is on the streets all around us. And
yeah,
so I think he goes out like drinking. Um, and so I think actually we pan out of the kitchen and through the service door into
yeah,
the main room of the same pub, where we see Brother Oren like sitting at a table with a bunch of like farmers who've like come into town for like the weekly market day or whatever, and
yeah,
is just like shouting everyone a round of drinks. And I want to figure out like if we had to bloody the nose of either of the local noble factions,
yeah.
which I think like we'll have to do it later, even if we don't have to do it now. So it's a good investment. Like where are they vulnerable? What's the opening?
Nice, love it.
How can we stick a knife in a noble back and twist it to make it hurt?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me what you got.
Yeah, I think this is consort. Well, yeah, I think this is consort. Realistically, which I only have one dice in, unfortunately.
For now.
But I'll take it.
Yeah,
That's it's better than nothing.
Four, four is
what are you
a
thinking?
four is a good.
That was fine. Yeah, and I think what this looks like is actually no. You know what this is? I think the people he's talking with are not farmers. They're like servants and courtiers from the
Yeah,
like
Oh,
the
nice.
the manor house of the local family, who are like on their lunch break or whatever.
yeah,
And yeah, he's just like encouraging them to do that thing that servants do when they're on break, which is gossip in the way of service employees everywhere, which is
yeah.
gossip about all of the shitty people they have to deal with.
Right.
And he's just kind of like disappearing himself into the background of this conversation and just like listening and like nodding and like like signaling another drink like whenever it looks like the flow of ale is slowing down a little, and just quietly taking note.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's all the servants from House Sagane and House Gare, right? And they're in
Yeah.
town to buy to like stock the kitchen. And
Mm.
because you said the farmers are in for their like weekly market. And yeah, they totally come in here before they head back in, and they kind of compare notes, and like mostly what they're talking about is are the children, right? And how
Mm.
House Sagane has Una, and they just say like she does not, her father is so jovial and such like a good uh natured guy, and always is joking with us, and the daughter is this like has no sense of humor, and like we've never seen her smile, and why can't she just lighten up, and and then the house gear servants are like, fuck your serious girl, I'm sorry she doesn't smile enough. Adwin Gier beat a servant with a stick because he didn't know if a painting Adjian had made was a sunrise or a sunset. He is a fucking asshole, and when he is the lord of when he's the lord of his house, we're gonna find reasons to get out. Like it's gonna be a generation of pain. And then like one of the others is like, well, Sikain and Gier will probably end up fighting before then. And then it's just like, House Gier does have the village of Avons and their archers. And it's like, that's adorable. House Sikain did war for a living, and Lady Gier, and they're like, yeah, but Lady Gier can go to her cousin who is married to the king. And they're like, the king has other problems. He doesn't give a shit about his cousins. He never has. That's why he's trying to raise a standing army.
Yeah, and at that, I think we visibly see Arin like bite his tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the king
Cool.
sure doesn't give a fuck about his cousins.
Right.
Yeah, I think we close out on him kind of like nodding sympathetically and like buying an extra drink for the poor unfortunate who was beaten for not being able to tell the sunrise and the sunset apart.
Yeah.
And just kind of like claps him on the shoulder and it's like, I'm sorry that was done to you, my friend.
Thank you.
It is not a right path for a noble to walk, I think.
Thank you, Father. I thought so too. The castle priest, he said that it was my path to endure such things.
I am no father, merely a brother to all men, and this priest has closed his eyes to other paths, I think, and forgotten that ours is a god of crossroads.
Thank you, brother. Cool. Strach, what are you meeting up with Droston?
No. I think our meeting will just be like during the actual encounter. I think that
Okay.
if you look for like if there is a shot. I wanted to ask Lauren. Lauren, I don't want to intrude on your friends here, but like, is that in like a place that our little motley band is staying? Like, are we in that like where are we? Like, presumably, if you were across the sea and we came back, we're still staying somewhere. We're not like camping out in the like lowlands or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
out in the lowlands with the wraiths swirl around in the mist.
Yeah.
No, I thought it'd be super cute if, like, Fergus puts us up and for
Yeah.
cheap because we're good pals and we're gonna bring
Yeah.
around a revolution to help him out, and
Yeah. So I
totally
think.
stay here.
I think, Artera is probably just in a corner, having some very peasant booze with probably like a veteran friend of mine. So just as part of my backstory. By the way, I'm visually a very striking character. I could not possibly be mistaken for anyone other than who I am. I've got like shock white hair, like way before my age. And I've got like a metallic feather braided into it. So like, yeah, I run like a sequence of braids down my back. I probably wear some like ostentatiously bleached armor, and I look like some sort of anime protagonist. So yeah, which is interesting because like obviously if we ever do flashbacks, because clearly I cast everything as a TV show, but if we do flashbacks, whoever is playing me in my younger incarnation has like, I don't know, Lauren, what color is your hair? What's like the House Lair hair color here?
I feel like it's gotta be like some kind of like deep brown or black or something.
Great.
Sort of
So then I
predominantly
have the
more like
Lolaire
cheesy.
black hair, I think, when I'm younger, and clearly do not anymore. So yeah, I think, I'm just, my first in command, left when I left my cavalry, my raiders / bandits, and, no, wait. Mercenaries. Yes. No, we were legit. So yeah, when I left my command, when I resigned my command of my mercs, she came with me. So it's like me and Bara are probably just having drinks and chatting, and you folks are like, "Mwahaha, so many plans and ideas. We have to have information." I'm just like, it's cool. I'll go when I go. I'll deal with it as I deal with it. I'm much more of an in the moment kind of planner than rather a long-term tactician. So yeah, Judd, I don't think I'm doing a damn thing unless
Cool.
somebody specifically asks me. I'm actually like playing my cards to my chest and not mentioning that I'm actually friends with Drostin. So
Nice.
Cool. Cool. And so you're chilling with your merc friend?
yeah,
I'm gonna
Cool.
go murk someone.
I think he says Captain Sienna Sagane is now Lady Sagane.
Bara is a gal. She was my
Oh
first
yeah,
in command. Yeah,
she says. I'm sorry.
yeah.
She says Sienna Sagane is now Lady Sagane.
I bet she still drops her left though.
Maybe she's wow, moving up in the world.
At the end of the day, nobility is just an excuse. Every king had to murder someone somewhere down the line in order to take the throne. Mercs are as good sitting on thrones as anyone else. Probably better. Some of them end up being a little more honest.
Yeah, at least we stay paid off. To staying paid off.
The staying
Good
paid
to say.
off. Yeah.
Cool. Which reminds me, like, what do Lauren? What does Kale look like?
Oh, good question. I forgot to mind Pinterest over the past few weeks, but yeah, I think we like Lildair has I think like sort of quite dark hair, or like sort of yeah like black stock browns. I think she has the kind of like signature sort of like quite hard nose of Lildair too, and
Cool.
like really serious eyebrows. um,
I'm loving the serious eyebrows.
Yeah,
yeah.
digging it. Cool. Uh, dressed as a kind of a young knight, or like what is she wearing? Give me a.
Oh yeah, good question. I think like I feel like she would want to dress a bit conspicuous, like sorry, like to sort of hide herself a bit like amongst a crowd. So like nothing
Yeah.
too flashy. I think like she's feeling a bit hesitant about opening up to people beyond those people that she trusts, just because of like the reputation that her house has. So as if you can blend in as much as she can, that would probably be her approach. So like even if she is wearing sort of like armor or like more serious setup, I think she tries to obscure it like under traveling cloaks and like thick furs and hoods and stuff. I guess. Oh, also, what season are we traveling in? Is it a bit frostier? Is it a bit warmer?
I think they actually do have a seasonal thing. I think it's spring. I think we're starting at like the. I think let's say it is chilly. It's like it's just the beginning of spring. So like, the first thaw is like still happening, and so like there's still a little bit of snow on the ground in places, and it's still chilly. You can still see your breath.
Yeah, and then she probably has like a bit of a fur collary thing kind of going on, and like slightly heavier like gob.
Digging it.
Take off the chill.
Yeah, totally digging it. Cool.
And maybe like even Lildair has more feathery or adorned like gear that they usually wear, like the sort of feathered collar and I don't know, like what have you. But
cool.
She's like she's avoiding the feathery look for now.
I think if you're trying to blend in, just stand next to me. I'll draw all the attention.
And Luke, what about Brother Oren? Is he is he in like brown, kind of, I don't know, tropey brown robes?
I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a little.
I bet.
Yeah, so I think Brother Oren is like medium height, kind of like medium build, like maybe a little on the leaner side.
Yeah.
There is something very like sleek and kind of like particular about him, like like his hair is like swept back and is like there's not like a single strand out of place, and his eyebrows are like not at all bristly, right? Like they lie very flat to his face, and his nails are like very nicely trimmed. But at the same time, like he is a very physically worn person. Like he is sunburned and he is weather beaten and wind chapped. Like he has spent his life traveling, as like more like a friar than a monk. If we like
Yeah.
dip into like a kind of Catholic imagining of like a priesthood. Um, but at the same time, like most of the like wrinkled lines on his face, because he's like 50 or 60. Most of the wrinkled lines on his face are like laughter lines, not frown lines.
Aw.
So he kind of does have he has the appearance of like a worn out a well worn kind of piece of clothing that's been donned a couple of times, but is like cozy and comfortable.
I love it.
He's got dark hair, he's got dark eyes. I think he is wearing like the traditional like robes of like a wandering brother, which are it's very much like that kind of like classic like friar style kind of robe in like a mottled kind of charcoal gray color. And then like a kind of like normal like kind of heavy winter like traveling cloak
Yeah.
over the top.
Digging it.
If I had to fan cast him, I picture him played by Mark Rylance
I have to
or
Google this
Gabriel,
person.
that generation of like older English actors who are very good at like
Mm.
bittersweet kind of melancholy that makes you feel quite fond of them. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
totally pictured.
that's the vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I've got Mark Rylance up now. Yep. Yep. Mark Rylance or Gabriel Byrne. Love it. Love it. Love it. Sounds good. Cool. So, what is our approach? Do we want to, what do you want to do? What do you want to
Yeah.
go grab Drostin's bandits and try to do a diplomatic mission? Do you want to stab someone? What do you want to do?
I'm okay with the diplomatic mission. Just looking at this, planning a sortie, there is an uprising plan. No, the diplomatic plan requires a social connection, and I think that I can provide one if we need one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I think that's easy enough. It's like, oh, how do we get Drostin to talk to us? I'm like, we just walk into camp.
Yeah, I know the guy.
It's fine.
Yep. Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think it's like that. It's almost I'm picturing this sortie is like a setup action for like the next sortie, which is probably a little bit more violent.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say this feels like a
more
two-step kind of
forceful.
approach to
Yeah.
taking down the Sigilants, where there's like the initial mission to build up like enough of a front, and then like attack.
I love that you think that the Sedge lands fall in 2 missions. This is gonna be yeah, I'm in. Let's do this.
I never said that.
I'm in. I'll try. I'll roll some
see how it
dice.
goes. I never pre-plan how these missions are gonna go. I'm just
Yeah.
We
Let's see,
could have a
let's
big
see.
2 mission dealie. I don't know.
I need 2 sessions
Yeah.
to get 6 XP. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then Judd, yeah, like, what do you think our sortie objective is based on kind of what we've described?
I mean, it sounds
it's
like
probably gain status.
you like gain status with Drostin's bandits, right?
Yeah, because we're not trying to vassalize Drostin yet.
Yeah,
That's possible. Yep.
Get there
Yep.
at some point, but I don't think right now is that time.
Right. Right. I mean, I think you want to vassalize someone who actually has land, right?
He has a
think
bandit camp.
Who actually has land? Who actually has land? So
It's on the, it's
Who has-
on the map. Drostin's Bandits is one of the 3 lands in the Sedge.
title to it.
yeah, who has title? So I love gain status. That sounds great. That sounds fantastic. So let's make an engagement roll and see how this goes. I think y'all are. I mean, it's
How do engagement rolls work in this? I don't actually know. Somebody step us through it. If you want, I can actually click the buttons to make the roll, but
yeah. So we gather dice. So 1 for sheer luck, plus 1d for each major advantage, minus 1d for any disadvantages. Major advantages include a particular bold or daring approach, help from friends or contacts, hitting the target where they're weakest, following up on preparations or leverage. Target is a lower tier.
so which scenarios are we looking at here for bonus dice?
I mean, I think you have
Yeah.
help from friends, right? Because you've got you're friends
Sure.
with them, so I think that's plus 1.
Is there also a case to be made for bold or daring approach?
Because you're walking the fuck in.
Because we're just walking the fuck in, right? Like, and it feels like that is not a thing that one would normally expect from the nobility of this king.
Totally. of the no, that is not something
Like-
I think. Yeah,
Like by the approach alone, we are kind of like making a statement that like this is a new order that our claimant represents.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So what are we rolling? 2, 3 dice? I forget if you start with one.
We're at 3 dice.
Okay.
Is this I wouldn't describe this as an overly complex plan. No, largely because it's kind of non-existent.
Right.
Are any of our friends or rivals interfering?
Nope, they don't know you're here yet.
My rival is a librarian, so probably not.
That would be pretty great though.
And I'm going to tell you all, we will play this game until I get to play that fucking librarian. This game will not end until I get to play that character.
Good to know.
Just,
Good to know, Judd.
However much you like this game or don't like it, whatever.
We're playing it until you get to be a librarian.
Yeah, totally.
I don't care if it's like off stream. I'm playing that character.
When's your birthday, Judd? I reckon you should keep playing, and on your birthday you could be the librarian.
Love it. Make that roll. Tell me what you get.
All right. I'll throw some dice.
I do just want
Judge's birthday's
check.
next week for reference. So, okay.
Is the target prepared for or defended against this approach?
Yes.
Okay, so that takes us down to 2.
Yeah.
And does the fact that they are higher tier than us factor in here? Because I believe we.
It probably does. It probably does, right? So, yeah.
So
Take
one
off another
die. All right.
One die. Go
Boop.
for it.
Uh,
What'd you get?
apparently I have to type in what type of roll it is. 1 second. Oh, a 2.
Yep.
It's not good. It's the worst.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Awesome.
What
Kale,
do you do?
you're having a memory of being taught weapons in the yard back when your family was alive, and you took a real beating that day, and the man-at-arms, who's long since a wraith, said, I could tell you were going to get beaten, Kale, because I can tell how you're going to do in the yard by the way you walk into it. And you walked in like you were going to lose. And I think like that's rolling in your head as you walk into this camp. What does it look like? How are you walking in? Like, what does it?
Oh, nice. I feel like we get that initial like stride of confidence as like the 3 of us like rock in, and we look very like sort of proud chested, sort of like very serious, like eagle faced, like determination to get to like the entrance to this place. And then like as we move through, more and more eyes start to track us, and like we see Kale's like face soften and like slacken a bit with doubt, and like her eyes cast a bit more around the place for like blades and like things that are around us that could be potentially kind of dangerous. And we sort of see that deflation of like sort of pride and confidence, like as the further we like get towards our destination.
Cool. And I think as that confidence wanes, you hear someone in the distance yell "loose," and Strash, your character definitely looked like you can hear it and knows that like somewhere in the sky above you are arrows arcing towards you all. And what do you do?
Awesome. Luke, you well, I think I yell "get down," right? And then
right.
The first thing I do is I pop my shield out to the front, right? Like, and I try and get behind or in front of the claimant. And I'm sorry, Lauren, please forgive me. I'm terrible with names. Is it Kale?
Kale, yeah. Like the
C-A-I, like the veggie?
No, it's spelled C-A-E-L, but it's pronounced like the veggie. So
perfect. And Luke, it's what's your character's name?
Brother Oren.
Thank you. I'll write it down so I have it in front of me constantly.
Altair, right? For the indigent.
I I am Arter, yes.
Arter.
I'm gonna very quickly grab an index card.
Yeah, right. So I think that there's just like a moment where I get there's this odd sound, right? Because I think Arter fights with a really strange weapon, right? So there's like a sound of like a chung 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 as like a chain extends, and I use like a morning star with no handle. It's like I just grasp onto the chain itself.
Oh, I love it. Flexible
yeah.
weapons are so terrifying. I love it.
And yeah, I just put up my shield to absorb that first volley, and
Yeah.
whoever it is that's coming after us does not understand that I took force multiplier as my power. So cool. Yeah. If I need to take harm, you let me know, Judd. I'll test it down and do all the appropriate things here.
Yeah. I feel like I want to roll to see how well you shield Kale.
I don't think there's a roll. Like in Blaze, what you do is you protect someone from harm.
Yeah.
So I would like to take harm onto me. So you just tell me how many levels of harm I'm supposed to take, and I'll test it down in armor as appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. You're in a desperate situation, right?
That's fine. That's 3 levels of harm normally.
So it's 3 levels of harm.
All right, cool. In which case, I will spend 2.
Cushioned.
Yeah. And in which case, I will spend to. Actually, I have no idea. Are there special rules for shields in this, Luke? Do you know?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Let me very quickly check.
Let's see if I can just control F shield in my PDF. Because I don't. Let me switch to this because now I'm gonna be rolling. I am gonna be rolling.
Capable of deflected blows and defending its like it's a shield.
Oh, it's just a. All right. So all right. Let me just test this down. I've got some prowesses. I'm gonna roll some prowesses. Excuse me. Bonus dice none. 5 costs me 1 stress. I'm gonna mark it. Dope.
Cool. Where does the arrow hit you?
I don't think it does. I think they go into my armor, and I just like there's this sound as like my armor is like peppered with arrows, and I've got like 2 or 3 through it, and there's just like a sound as I like unlatch it and I drop my armor off, and it's pretty obvious that underneath it, my body is like covered in these weird patterns of white that look like handprints where like the finger lines extend into knotwork. What that indicates is that I've been attacked by wraiths, and I've survived. So, like, I have dozens of these, like, wraith handprints on me. And at that point, I would like you to tell me where my enemy is.
They are behind a couple of logs that have been, the in-between parts of the logs have been patted down with mud, so they have, so they can kind of get behind it for cover, and if it's a little bit too high for the average warhorse to jump over.
Cool.
And it's like beyond the like thorny scrub that is near you is this like shooting place. Like it's a good spot to take down probably horsemen is what you'd imagine it was there to do.
So I think that there's just like a ferocious, angry buzzing as I spin up my morning star. It's like this weird, just ball on a chain, and I'm gonna take 2 steps, leap. I'm gonna spend 2 stress so that I can fight an entire gang by myself, and I'm gonna try and go to town on them.
Cool.
So, sorry, I'm marking stress on my character sheets. I should probably just mark it here in the digital one. That's fine. Let's do this. Is this still a desperate position?
I believe so, yeah.
Hell yeah. Give me some XPs. I want it.
Would you like an assist?
Yeah. Anything. I'm gonna be frank with you. I think that this is just like Arter probably doesn't want the assist. That should not stop you at all. I think that as a matter of fact, I probably drop my narratively useless shield next to you and just go like protect Oren, and I go in. But you should totally feel free to ignore me and come join the battle if you want.
Oh heck yeah. I think I'll use my free assist. I think the way I prepared for this was like I imagine like we had a talk where it's like I know Drostin, like don't worry, this should be easy. And it's like Yeah, but easy things can so often go very wrong from experience. So I think like we see Kale pop out like a knife like or blade of sorts like from a hidden pocket in like the wrist, and like when you bring that shield up, like Kale like sort of leans in and punctures something, or like that kind of. I'll totally join in the fight.
Actually, I wonder. I think Strash probably feels protective. I think I'm gonna say that Arter probably gives you a like a "Are you coming?" look. Let me change my fictional stance here. Everything you said I think works just the same. Just because I realize that my playbook is just like no, always advise the claimant to choose aggression, and so I'm just like, hell yeah, they took a shot at you. You gonna let that stand? Let's go.
Fuck
So,
no. Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. Spend a stress, and I'm a do my thing
it's
here.
free because
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. You have powers.
Yes, that is my tactician. I can assist for free if I say how I came prepared for this, which is like you always gotta bring some extra knives, or people aren't expecting it, or
Judd,
extra.
I got a crit.
You got a crit?
I did 616. Yep.
This
Nice.
is just like Drav with that table. Like it really is.
Back to back, really.
Well,
Yeah.
the
It's
vengeance.
like we never left childhood. You and I just fight so well together,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Love it.
I think
What-
it's just terrifying.
Yeah.
Like I want this to be impressive, and I want you to tell me, if yeah, I think what it is it's just Arter has a reach that most people don't, because he'll just like let the thing fly and the chain go out and just
Yeah.
yank it back and bring it through. He's using a lot of like meteor hammer style like strategies in the combat, and yeah, I think I'm just, there are times where if somebody tries to rush my cousin, I think I'm just like grabbing their weapon, and yeah, we're just moving in perfect sync. This is the training yard, right? Like this is back in the day, and
Yeah.
I think it's just a whirlwind, right? So let me ask a couple questions. Lauren, you tell me how you feel about this, and Judd, please feel free to fill in. What kind of people are shooting us? They're not actually Drosten's people, are they?
They are Justin's people. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. So somebody else either may have hired him, or something else may be going on here, because I've probably been here before and we haven't had a greeting with arrows, right?
No, you have. I don't think you've been here before. I think
Okay.
you've met Drosten before, but I don't think you've been here. And the vibe you get is like this was a miscommunication. Like they thought they were being hunted. Yeah, like it's not that they were trying to kill the king. It's not that this was just someone who was nervous and on guard duty and said people are coming. They got closer than I wanted them to get. Fuck it, loose. Like I'd rather loose than have everyone get captured and hang.
So for my crit effect, can I have it that we don't kill him? We just
Love
really
it. So,
really.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can
Yeah,
add to it too.
I want to flash back again to that yard and the man at arms, and I think you had a tough day on the yard too. Like a lot of older squires beat the shit out of you and Kale, and the man at arms comes to you, and like how does Kale? How did young Arter take that? You know, like what are we seeing? And as we like see.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm wondering if we actually see the seeds of the Vengeant, where he's just got like the burning bright eyes. Yeah, I think what it is like, as a kid I was probably crying, so I'm like snot-nosed and weepy, and like anybody that looks at me will never mistake like the runner lets through the grime and the dirt for anything else. But I think that if this person comes, I like wipe it all down, and I've just got that like, no I wasn't, like look in my face, like of real like fierceness.
Yeah, I think the man at arms comes up to you after like telling Kale very delicately, I knew you were going to lose because of the way you approached the yard, and comes up to you and says, how'd it feel to get your ass kicked?
Unfair? Actually, I don't know if I had that much insight as a kid. I think I have to say something spunky and thrown in the face, so I do the best I can, which is like, it feels like what I'm gonna do to them, or something like that. Like totally
Yeah.
not realistic. Like, but you know, I'm like 12 or something, and I'm super
Yeah.
determined here.
Yeah. He says, good. Because not only did you let yourself get your ass kicked, you let your queen get her ass kicked.
There's two of us against so many. It's not fair.
No one said this was going to be fair. No one said fights are fair.
Perfect.
And yeah, and then we like, you know, you and then we see you and her, you know, charging a group of, you know, 8 bandits, and they all kind of and these are not great fighters, right? This and you folks leap over the log encampment, and they surrender and say, you know, and kind of they think you're going to take them away, like to get hanged somewhere, like
If
they
I can
think you were
add,
sent by a lord, like they
like,
don't understand what the fuck is going on.
can I add a little detail?
Yeah.
So I think like when we're fighting, right, and it's like we have some bandits like coming for us, so they take a swipe at Kale, and like a dagger sticks in like Kale's like cloak, and Kale's like, oh fuck, this is useless now, and like sort of does that, like pulls it off, and like we're like sort of fluid motion, and then sort of like throws it on like the people coming at us to like create some kind of a distraction for them, so they have to like sort of fight around the cloak, and like that's when we see the like Eagle House like armor detail of like sort of feathers interwoven like over some like
Nice.
armor and stuff. So it's like, oh,
Love
this
it.
is really, like the house. Like this is the scorned witch house.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Um, Sounds good. Yeah, there's a young woman who has kind of a wolfish look to her, and she drops like a pitted sword on the ground, a pitted rusty sword on the ground. Says, "We surrender. The bandits are long gone. Droston's gone. I think he's in Saltcrag or something. I don't know. Take us to whatever castle you're working for."
I totally looked at like Altair to be like,
What castle? Drustin owes me a new set of armor.
What?
I point at the armor that has like half a dozen arrows stuck in it. I'm just like, I'm serious. We're here to talk to him.
Fuck.
Why do you think? Actually, I think I point at people like groaning and just like on the ground and everything. I'm like, why do you think you're all not dead? We're not your enemies. We're not here because of some. Who did they think we were? Like we're not, you know, hench people of whoever the lady is that owns
house
Bellwether.
gear.
Yeah.
Or-
What
yeah.
do I look like House Gear to you?
I don't know what House Gear looks like. You all look alike. Come on. Where do you know Droston from? She says, wanting to kind of like verify.
That's a good question. Oh, actually, I think what I'm gonna say is like about 10 years ago. Who do you think taught me the sword? And I just grab the armor, sort of like sling it over one shoulder, and I'm like, would be half the merc I am if Drostin didn't actually take me under his wing.
You're Arter.
Yeah, the hair give it away.
Yeah, he's talked about you. Sorry, I didn't see the hair through the brush. We just had to. We loosed when we should have not loosed. I apologize. Did we get the priest?
I check on Orin. Orin, how you doing?
Yeah, and I think Aaron is just like picking himself up off the ground with a kind of like slightly rueful look on his face.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, like tomorrow this is gonna hurt tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And like, you know, brushes the like leaf litter off his clothes and shakes his head and sighs and just kind of goes over to like the nearest groaning merc and like, you know, reaches down a hand and like helps them up
Yeah.
and is just kind of like, no, it seems to be fine. if not, as young as he once was.
Yeah. Awesome. Kale, like I think it's you who notices that the brother has an arrow that is in his hood. Like it just went by him and just got caught in his hood. There it is, like kind of through the hood. What do you do with it?
Oh, interesting. If it's okay, I feel like I for sure like pluck it out.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess like Luke, are you okay with being the one that like gave me the death potion or like fake?
Yes,
fake
yeah,
death
100%.
potion?
No, 100%.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure
sounds
like,
great.
who the fuck went after the dude who saved my life kind of thing, and like sort of yank it out, and I'm like very very incensed by the thought of someone trying to kill dear brother Orin.
Yeah, and I think
Orin just like looks at it and chuckles like, "Huh, there you go." And I think just kind of like shrugs and is like, and like like does the whatever the equivalent is of crossing himself, like just makes a little crossroads sign with his hands and is like, "Thank you, God."
I love it.
And I think, Judd, I might wanna do a thing here.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I think I want to sway some people. Because I think here's the thing. I think part of this reaction to nearly having been shot is genuine, but at the same time, it is also partly like a performance.
Yeah.
And it is a performance aimed at them to like seize on the serendipity of that and lean into this idea of like, well, my friends, like, you tried to shoot me, but I guess that wasn't God's will.
Yeah,
like, I guess we are guided by the God of parts. So I just want to like
there's that
coincidence.
It reminds me of that scene in the second season of Fleabag where she's talking to the hot priest and she says like,
hot priest.
Yes, shout out to the hot priest, and she says, "I don't believe in God," and like a picture falls off the wall, and she looks kind of like weirded out, and the priest goes, "I love it when he does that."
Yeah, 100% that energy. Also, side note: if Andrew Scott were like 15 years older, he would absolutely also be a face cast.
Love it. Love it.
Luke, I just want to get your buy-in on this. I think that particularly when you're just like, let me talk about the God of Paths, I think that Artera is just like, psh, and starts walking.
Cool. Make a roll. What kind of and what's the result you're looking for? What are you looking for?
I want these. I want to play up the ways in which, like, I imagine, Judd, that like in the kind of various like historical medieval cultures that this genre always revolves around, there is probably some measure of like, social cachet and like, don't hurt a priest, like that those attitudes exist to some extent. I would like to awe them a little. Like I would like them to like really be in the like, oh boy, like that's one holy priest, like,
yeah,
we should be on our best behavior around that holy priest.
Cool. Love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I want them convinced of my connection to the divine.
Got it.
All right, cool. Is this what's my position?
Controlled standard.
Great. Can I push? Can I? No,
yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, that's mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of do I want to trade position for effect? But the answer is no. I don't think I need to. But yeah, do I? Yeah, I think I might push myself.
Cool.
For a bonus die, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
How'd it go?
I think that's a 5.
It's mixed.
Mixed result.
Control is always slightly weird.
Which means uncontrolled, it's one of two cases. Either you'd have to make the roll again on risky. You can take the effect but have a minor consequence, and you can probably resist it if you want. Because you're talking about the God of Paths, and we are talking about bandits that are in alliance with witches. So there might be some consequence there. Sorry, Chad. I'm so used to running this. I just
yeah.
I automatically spit it out. I
No,
apologize.
it's great. It's great. You're giving me you're giving me my options. There's nothing wrong with that. No, you're not a rules lawyer. You're a rules Gandalf.
Ooh.
I always call it. So yeah, I think the consequence is a little bit of fear. Like they are heretics, and they're scared. They're a little scared of your judgment. So it's like you got awe, but you got some negative. Like they're kind of staying away from you a little bit. Is that all right?
I think, Judd, I would like to resist that consequence.
Cool.
And I think how
Or you can resist it, or you can push to risky and like really confront it. And
I'd resist it, Luke. just saying. It's worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna resist it, Judd.
Okay.
And I think that resistance is very simple, and it comes in the form of I would like to slightly retcon my wording, because of course, Brother Oren doesn't call them the god of paths. He calls them the god of gates and ways, which is like, it's not heretical exactly, but it is like it's not the mainstream branch of the church,
right.
and it comes, I think, from like, a branch of the church that is more open to alternative points of view.
Got it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make that resistance roll. I think that's resolve probably.
Sounds good.
Cool. And I take another 2 stress.
Cool. And what is? Let's talk about that a little bit more. The what is the thing you say that lets them know that you're not in the orthodoxy, I guess?
Yeah, I think I just I help the last one up off the ground.
Yeah.
As they're all starting to look a little bit uneasy, and I brush the leaf litter off his shoulder, and I say to him, "No harm done, brother. Not to worry. The god of gates and ways, is a forgiving god."
Cool. Love it. Yeah, and I think good. They nod. I think they're getting there. Let's say let's set up a clock, right?
Yeah. 12 o'clock.
I think you've got it's a 4-part clock, and all the bandits, and you got a tick on it. A bit into the woods, and you can smell some pig burning, and you know that you are in the camp, and I think Drosten is. There's a lot of food in this game for some reason. Anyway, Drosten
There
is
should always be lots of food in every game,
Good.
Judd.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Drosten is like standing over like the guy cooking the pig, and like I think they're arguing about how to cook it, right? And he's just like, "This is not the fire's too big. You're gonna burn it, and everything inside is gonna be gonna be raw, and we're basically gonna be eating a corpse. You're gonna turn the whole camp into wraiths. What is wrong with you?" And he's like, "No, this is good. This is the way my ma always cooked it. I'm telling you, this is right." And he's like, "If you fuck up my pig, I'm going to lose my mind. I killed this thing, was a monster. I killed it." And he's like, "Prince, can you just take a fucking walk, please?" And like he looks up and he sees you all, and says, and like and kind of takes you all in, and says, "Arter, what are you doing here?"
I think I dropped the armor that I'm carrying sort of in parts with arrows stuck through it still, and I'm like, "Hey, old man, found myself in the area, and also found someone from Lolaire," and I kind of jerk a thumb at Kale, and I say, "If you're gonna cook a pig on a fire that high, you should definitely make sure to squeeze the juices back on it and keep them running. Put a pan under there."
And he kind of like looks like you just verified what he said, right? And he's like, and then I think he looks at Kale and nods and does not take a knee and says, "Your Majesty,
And-
back from across the channel, huh?"
Yeah, interesting way to greet one as such. I take it my reputation precedes me. Unless of gesturing to like the fact a knee was not taken.
Uh,
I guess I'm trying to like bait, like I'm trying to bait him
Yeah,
a little bit
I
because
think he
like
says,
I'm implying he hates witches, but I don't realize.
"I have less problem with witches and more problems with crowns, Your Majesty.
Well, we have a thing.
Please, take take don't take it as a criticism of you or your family and what your uncle says about them."
Oh, not at all. I take it as a compliment, if anything, for it was House Alaire that slaved my own. So I know a thing or two about what the crown can do, and I like where I spit at it.
We should probably all have a drink while the pig cooks, huh?
You read my mind.
So you're in the
God.
Sedgelands and you decide that am I the first person you came to?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to pull out a bottle of fine whiskey, which is on my load.
Yeah, love it.
And I'll like smile at him and it's like, of course you were the first that came to mind when I considered approaching the Sagelands, hence why I'm here. Of course, there were a couple of other factors, but you were the primary reason for coming to take a visit.
Huh. What how can I help you, Your Majesty?
Well,
How can us humble bandits help you?
I'll not be so coy as to say that I am out for anything less than blood. I am here to start a pilgrimage of sorts to reclaim lands that belong to myself, but I am not interested in replicating anything that Valera has done to its other branches.
Where are you thinking about spilling some blood? What's the plan?
Well, why don't you tell me first? I sense that our alliances, oh gosh, what's what I'm looking for? I sense that our priorities are quite aligned.
Yeah.
I'll pour him a drink. Like, I'm assuming there's like wooden cups or something.
He takes a shot. He toasts. He like clinks glasses with you and takes a shot, and says,
"Does he toast to anything specific?"
Oh, good question.
This
is for sure whiskey from like the good like Eagle whiskey from like the peat of.
Oh, totally.
Tastes very peaty of like our lands. Yeah.
He absolutely has to like toast something specific. I mean, he says to King Maddox's head in a bag full of salt at your hip.
To King Maddox's head and a bag of salt in my hip. Like, I'll clink to that for sure.
Yeah, and he takes a drink and says, "We're hitting we're hitting." He kind of like talks to you, but he's also kind of talking to like, I think he's uncomfortable talking to a queen, right? Especially about banditry. So he kind of like, you can like feel him like getting uncomfortable talking to you about literally banditry, and like because he's uncomfortable, he kind of starts talking to Arter a little bit because he's like, I'm talking to, why am I talking to her about this? And he says, we're hitting merchants and it's going okay, but the real cash is going to be in one of the kids. It's gotta be House Gear or or the mercenaries' kids. I think it's just obvious.
Are you talking about a kidnapping?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about a kidnapping.
You're talking about a ransom.
Yeah, talking about a fortune.
Why aren't you talking about taking the vaults at Bell Heather? The answer may be because they've got 50-foot walls and an
Yeah,
army backing them up. I'm just asking.
yeah. Tell me what Arter has heard about the vaults of Bell Heather.
Oh, shit. So so we know that there is a merc lady that we've seen acting
No, you know
overseas
what?
that's recently
Forget
stepped
it.
up, right?
Forget it. Yeah. Yes. Yep. I've got an idea. You
Forgotten,
don't have to.
go.
Uh, he's like, because I mean, I don't know if you heard, but Matic petitioned uh, the Empress, and so the vaults of Bellheather have an Imperial regiment.
Oof. That
He
I did
said
not hear.
he said he was worried about his provincial vaults being hit and him not being able to pay taxes. And the way she fucking responded was by sending a imperial detachment to every province to sit on every vault. And I think like that's now a setting thing, right? Every every province has like some kind of fortress in it that is technically owned by the Empress and is where like taxes are sent to be sorted. Um, and there we go.
I think I wasn't expecting this piece of information, so I think I
Yeah,
take a look at Kale and Orin, and I'm just like looking for the play, right? Because I
yeah,
know what my solution is. My solution is and. But
right.
I know that's wrong. I know that's a mistake. So I'm looking for cooler heads to convince me otherwise.
So what you're
Yeah,
saying, Your Highness, is that and that Your Highness is like entire like is just like totally flat and like sincere, like um that in fact the king doesn't control any of his own money.
he they answer to him.
Hmm.
I mean, I it's this is way above my pay grade, brother. They yes, they answer to the Empress, but don't aren't we all supposed to be answering to the Empress? She's thousands of miles away. This is the first time there's been this many Imperial troops here since I don't know when.
45
And
years ago, I believe.
yeah, yes, yeah. I was gonna say you do know when.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It was the Civil War in the Great Winter, but
nice.
I suppose, Your Highness, what I'm thinking is, um, where there is confusion in the chain of command, there is. It's like a knot in a piece of wood. Wedge a chisel in right. If an imperial decree came that the king was no longer to access the money, I wonder who would. Who would the levies choose? And would it not go poorly for them either way?
I
Where a tree falls across a path, my friend,
Yeah, I'm a simple bandit.
the god of ways
I want to
provides them
steal.
means.
I want to steal an asshole noble kid. I do not want to fuck with imperial levies. I don't want to forge the empress's seal. I don't want to do any of that. I want to snatch a privileged child, put a knife to their neck, until their children, until their parents give me a lot of gold, and then I'm gonna beat the hell out of that kid, throw them in a field, and then go spend that gold until I have to snatch another kid. Like this isn't. You're talking complicated shit, and I'm like, no, no, like, oh, the pig is burning. The pig is burning. And he like gets up.
I think I put a hand out and I say, I'll see to the pig. You should talk to the people that actually understand complicated shit. And I think I definitely go over there and I just drop right into my like regiment captain voice of like, step aside, you go get me a shirt. You know, like
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, and I think like
rob the spices. Rob the spices.
I think Aaron like turns to look at Kale, like he certainly like has a pitch, but is deferring to her.
I like with it have a pitch, so I can either give you the assist or I can lead it. Either way, what's
I don't mind. I am here to support you, my liege.
So I think my pitch would be like, that's why we're here. Is like you don't have to worry about the complicated stuff. Like that's leave that to the professionals, kind of thing.
Ah, right. Whereas I have a slightly more concrete pitch.
Oh, sweet. What's your? I'll assist your pitch.
Yeah, and so I think Aaron like laughs and says, "Your Highness, may I call you Drostin?"
Please, brother.
Drostin, the way you talk, you remind me a little of a farmer. You plant the wheat in the ground, or in your case, you kidnap the noble heir, and then you wait for the wheat to grow. In your case, you get paid by the noble parent, and then you suffer through winter. That's the bit where you don't have any money and you're waiting to kidnap another child. And you keep doing this, and sometimes there are good years and sometimes there are bad years. And I submit to you, wouldn't you rather be like a merchant? With interest trickling in from those fat privileged bankers and a steady stream of income, by which I mean to say, this province already has one former mercenary who gained legitimacy and gained a steady income and gained all the benefits that come of association with power. Why is it her and not you?
Nice. Cool. I mean, I think now we're working off of that all the bandits, but like it's a bigger, all the bandits means all including Jostin. So you've already begun, right? And the other clock that's ticking is Drosten gets spooked and moves camp and is like,
we push
nope,
too hard, right?
I want no part of this. Like he just he sees this for a doomed enterprise and he walks. Make a roll to add to all the bandits, including Justin.
Yep. So I think this is Sway.
Yeah.
I'll totally toss you an assist. I think like I could for sure speak to your character as like this kind of witchy genius who like is a mastermind and has saved my life countless times, and we'll speak to your good character and tricky character.
Yeah, and I think Judd, I might also mark an item.
All right.
Because one of my options on my item list is a fine gift.
Nice. What are you gifting?
A taste of the luxury that could be his.
Yeah.
In future days, and I think in keeping with this, the vibe of this scene, the very Redwall-esque emphasis on the meal.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very tiny little like clay pot. And like when I say tiny, like it's really quite tiny. And I think Brother Aaron just like unstoppers it and wafts it in front of Drostin's nose. I think it's full of like saffron or something of the sort.
Oh, love it.
Like it is a very tiny pot, but it is extraordinarily precious.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's classy. That is classy
yeah.
as fuck.
And
Okay, so this is
I'll totally
Sway.
top up his cup, his glass too, with like fine a whiskey.
We're wining him and dining him. Let's go.
And I think
I assume this is risky at least.
I think this is a risky standard, yeah, because I think you're trying to get him involved in very dangerous things. Yeah.
Does my saffron take me up to great effect though, John?
I think the saffron gets you to standard, is what I think.
All right, no,
All right,
that's fair. That is fair and reasonable.
Yeah.
Cool.
You swaying?
I might. Yeah, I'm swaying. I think I might push for great effect.
Great.
And then I'm at +1 die because of Lauren.
And Lauren, what exactly does Kale do? Kale like vouches for his genius?
Yeah, like I think I'll top up like the good gentleman's like whiskey.
Genius
and
is such a strong word.
yeah. And I'll speak to like, you know, like this guy has like the alchemical expertise and like knowledge and mastery of like sort of social wit and grace. So like I feel like having like I is like the majesty, like I trust him completely. And you
Love
should
it.
too.
John,
Love it.
it's my job to ask, to give you the opening, though I may not take it. Do you
Yeah.
have a devil's bargain for me by any chance?
Oh, devil's bargains! Holy cow, that's a whole thing.
That's the thing. We haven't done that for ever.
Yeah, this is the thing in this game.
Goodness gracious, yeah, I've totally been forgetting devil's bargains. I am so sorry, folks. Yeah, the devil's bargain.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah, rock out. What
Like,
do you have?
Because I feel like we kind of made an entrance. Like we could be noticed. Like we could have like a clock for being noticed, or we could be noticed by other people.
Right,
Totally.
just, like, add unrest to this,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
province.
Yeah, you know what?
I also have a suggestion if you want one.
Yeah, what's that?
I mean, it could be that Drustin hears this plan, but has not tested our metal or our validity. So it may require you to agree to do something for him, and it may even be like a second follow-up job or something like that. Like, it could be that he has his heart set on this terrible kidnapping plan. I was just mentioning, like, a noble kid-based economy is so weird. I think that maybe this might be like a portion of the plan anyway, because he's already done the legwork and he just doesn't want to give it up or something like that. It's just an idea. Toss it out. If you've got something else, Judd, bring it in.
My thought is that
Present a platter, a buffet of devil's bargains, and I will take my pick.
Yeah, I love that.
It depends on what Judd really says is fly.
Here's one. There's the young lady Isabel, and she said she loosed because the arrow is because she was she didn't want to make a mistake and would rather loose and then like apologize later or like apologize to the corpses and deal with the rape. But what if she was actually she came here with the Imperial Regiment and she's an Imperial spy, and so cool. it basically adds to the heat of this job, basically, which is like in this setting, heat is like the Empress taking notice and not being pleased.
I'm pretty on board with that. I think that sounds good. Cool. It's like we'll take an extra like 2 unrest at the end of the job or something.
Yeah, plus 2 unrest. Yep.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Oh yeah, took down an Imperial spy. Oh, that's a crit.
Holy cow, you folks! That's the whole thing. That's everything, right? That's
a lot of awe.
It's very convincing saffron, is all I can say.
He snips that saffron, and he stands up, and he puts his hand out for you, Cal, to stand up. Like he kind of like puts his hand up, like I'm going to help you up off this log that we were sitting on. and do you take his hand?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he kneels and says, "Your Majesty, I'm your man."
I think like you for sure get that sidelong look from Kale, who like wasn't maybe expecting that much submission, and looks to like Aaron to I guess to be like, that was, you must put something good in that saffron.
Yeah, and I think like without, I don't think that's what that clock was going to be, right? I think the clock was going to be like, he's like, "I'm in. Okay, let's see what you got, Queen." But I think like a crit on that roll like changes things. I feel like it something, you awoke his imagination with hey, there's a mercenary captain who is a lady. Why not you? You know, and
There are more things in heaven and earth, Prince Rusty.
and he is totally fucking in. And I think I think this job is over. This sortie is over, and we can end there and then start, go over end of sortie stuff and deal with unrest and all that and entanglements, and then and then think about, maybe take a break and think about downtime.
Yeah, cool.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So did we want to do that first? Do all the end of sortie stuff?
Can we do, actually, I misspoke. Can we do that after? Can we take a
Can
break?
we take a break first?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Break
Yeah.
sounds
Sounds
good
like a
now.
good plan.
All right, dear friends in chat, thank you so much for joining us, and we will continue this in just a couple minutes. We'll be right back. I'm gonna go make some more tea. And unfortunately, Judd, hang on. I've got the timer going. All right, good. See you folks soon.